Have you ever followed parenting advice exactly? Stayed calm, used the script, set the boundary, followed through, and somehow it made things worse? Maybe someone told you,
Just be consistent.
or,
Ignore the behavior.
or,
They need firmer discipline.
and you walked away thinking, why does this work for everyone else but not my child? If you're parenting a child on the spectrum, there's a reason so much traditional parenting advice falls flat. And it's not because you're doing it wrong. Before we begin, a gentle reminder, we are not therapists or medical professionals. We share lived experience, research-informed insights, and nervous system-based parenting reflections. Always seek individualized guidance from qualified professionals when needed. Today we're talking about something many spectrum parents quietly feel, but don't always say out loud. A lot of mainstream parenting advice simply doesn't work in spectrum households. Ready? Because this is Kind Parent Collective. Less perfect parent, more real one. Most parenting advice assumes neurotypical development. Here's the foundation of the issue. Most popular parenting advice is built around neurotypical child development. It assumes a child can pause before reacting. A child can reflect on their behavior. A child is motivated by social approval. A child learns from delayed consequences. A child can generalize lessons across situations. But many autistic and neurodivergent children process the world differently. Executive functioning differences, sensory sensitivities, rigid thinking, interoception differences, emotional regulation challenges, these all change how parenting strategies land. So when advice assumes skills your child doesn't yet have access to, it fails. Not because your child is defiant, but because the strategy doesn't match their nervous system. Behavior is often misinterpreted. Traditional parenting advice often focuses on correcting behavior, but in many spectrum families, behavior is communication. A meltdown might look like defiance, but it may actually be sensory overload, transition anxiety, language processing delay, masking fatigue, cognitive rigidity, and emotional flooding. If you treat a nervous system response like a behavioral choice, you'll apply the wrong tool. And when the wrong tool is used repeatedly, frustration builds on both sides. Just be consistent isn't always enough. Consistency is important, but consistency without flexibility can backfire in neurodivergent homes. If your child struggles with transitions and you rigidly enforce every transition the same way without adjusting for sensory load or emotional state, you may trigger more dysregulation. Spectrum parenting often requires responsive consistency. The boundary stays, the approach flexes. That nuance rarely shows up in short parenting reels or generic advice posts. Rewards and consequences don't always motivate the same way. A common suggestion is reward charts, sticker systems, point systems, and loss of other privileges. For some children, these work beautifully. For many autistic children, they don't. Why? Because motivation may not be socially driven. Some autistic children are not motivated by praise, not motivated by peer comparison, not motivated by earning stars, and some struggle with delayed gratification, meaning the connection between action and reward doesn't register strongly enough to change behavior. So parents try harder, increase consequences, increase rewards, increase intensity, and everyone ends up exhausted. Ignoring behavior can escalate it. You may have heard ignore attention-seeking behavior, but what if the behavior isn't attention-seeking? What if it's connection-seeking or regulation-seeking or distress signaling? Ignoring a dysregulated nervous system often doesn't reduce it, it increases it. A child who feels overwhelmed and unseen may escalate in order to feel acknowledged. Again, the strategy assumes intent that may not exist. Discipline assumes choice. Many discipline models assumed the child had full access to regulation and made a poor decision. But during a meltdown, many autistic children literally do not have access to their reasoning brain. If their nervous system is in fight or flight, you're not dealing with misbehavior, you're dealing with survival mode. Consequences applied during survival mode rarely teach anything. They often create shame or confusion, and shame does not build skills. Spectrum parenting requires translation. Instead of discarding all parenting advice, spectrum parenting often requires translation. Not ignore the behavior, but
what is the behavior communicating?
Not give a consequence, but
is this dysregulation or decision making?
Not be stricter, but
does my child have the skill yet?
That shift from control to curiosity changes everything. Why it looks like it works for other families. You might watch another family use a strategy successfully and feel confused, but you're not seeing the full neurological profile. You're not seeing sensory thresholds. You're not seeing internal anxiety. You're not seeing masking effort. Different nervous systems respond differently to the same input. That's not a parenting failure, that's a brain diversity. The pressure to fix everything. Spectrum families often feel enormous urgency. Early intervention, therapy windows, skill building timelines. That urgency can make you more vulnerable to quick fix parenting advice. But sustainable growth rarely comes from intensity. It comes from safety, repetition, and regulation. Slower doesn't mean failing. It often means building foundations. What actually tends to work better? While no strategy is universal, many spectrum families find more success when they prioritize understanding before correction, regulation before reasoning, and predictability before flexibility. Skill building during calm moments, not crises. Repair after rupture. This doesn't mean permissive parenting. It means matching tools to nervous systems. You're not too soft. Some spectrum parents are told they're too accommodating, too patient, too gentle, too understanding. But accommodation is not weakness when it prevents nervous system overload. Understanding is not indulgence, and regulation is not permissiveness. You are not raising a neurotypical child in a neurotypical world. Your parenting may need to look different. Different doesn't mean wrong. The long game. Parenting advice often focuses on short-term compliance. Spectrum parenting often focuses on long-term regulation. Compliance is quick, regulation is slow, but regulation builds independence over time. When you shift your goal from stop this behavior immediately to build the skill beneath the behavior, everything changes. If parenting advice hasn't worked in your home, it doesn't mean you're failing. It may mean the advice wasn't designed with your child's nervous system in mind. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are navigating complexity most people never see. If this resonated, consider subscribing so more parents raising autistic and neurodivergent children can feel less alone when generic parenting advice doesn't fit. Because sometimes the most powerful shift isn't trying harder, it's realizing you were never the problem in the first place. And if today was rough, you still did enough. Catch you on the next one.